Ambulance service.
Please come! Someone has hurt my parents and my family.
Sorry?
Someone has shot my parents. Please come!
What's someone's what?
Someone has shot my parents. I think they're all bleeding. They're on the floor.
What suburb are you in?
They're not breathing. What do I do?
What suburb are you in?
North Ryde.
North Ryde.
Yes.
And your parents are both,
No way.
they're both been shot, have they?
I don't know. That's not a blood. My mom.
Just hold on. Yeah, we will. We're sending the ambulance now.
That was the emergency call that Sef Gonzales placed on July 11th, 2001. He was reporting the murder of his family that he'd come home and found. So we'll go over to the Macquarie Park Cemetery and we'll take it from there. Okay, welcome back to another edition of Talking Headstones. I'm Kendall. Today we're at Macquarie Park Cemetery and Crematorium. We'll be having a look at the grave of the Gonzales family. That's Teddy Loiva, I should say, and Claudine, their daughter. But before we go and have a look at their grave, we will shoot off to the location of where this horrific tragedy, crime took place back at North Ryde. So we'll go over there, we'll have a look. I'll talk a little bit about what happened there, and then we'll come back here, we'll take a look at their grave. Be back in a minute. Okay, so we just arrived here at North Ryde. This is the suburb that the Gonzales family lived in. This is Ryrie Street. So we just got to walk down to Collins Street, which is where the family home was. So this is July 10, 2001. Sef Gonzales unalived or murdered his family in the family home. So he'd been at uni that morning doing his law degree, and in the afternoons he worked for his father in a lawyer's firm. So it's understood that he finished around 4. He made his way back home and he took a baseball bat out of his car and he went up to his sister's room and proceeded to club her to death. So we're just coming up the College Street now. Turn left. His mother, Loiva, finished work at around, say 5-ish. Oh, the garage door's open. Okay, so I was saying that Loiva arrived home at about 4:50 p.m. and once she arrived, that's the house there at the city of Scree. The garage door was just open when I came past before, so I sort of stopped, and I'm not sure if they noticed me, but anyway. So his mother came home and he then stabbed her about 12 times, slit her throat. I'll put photos up of the different rooms of the house, which I got off realestate.com. And then he waited until his father arrived back home at about 7 p.m. and he stabbed him multiple times in the entrance hallway. Claudine, that was up in the bedroom, because her school books were found open, so it was a surprise attack on her. The mother Lavoya and Teddy both had defence wounds on their hands. His auntie, I think her name was Emily, she came at around, I think it was between 5 and 6 p.m. and noticed his car was in the carport. Well, that's actually not over the house. We'll move up a bit closer. It's the house there at the centre of the screen. So she arrived and knocked on the door. She said that she saw Sef's car in the carport. No one answered the door. Then she thought she saw a shadow go across one of the front windows. So she then you could probably see the front windows there now to the left. Remarked to her son, who was only young, I think I saw someone in the house and had, but he seemed to think that it was the hat stand or the coat stand in the hall entrance. So they left. She did try and ring at her a few times, but was unanswered. So that's the house. I think we'll tell the rest of the story. There's the garage. That's the carport there to the right. I think we'll tell the rest of the story back at the cemetery, and don't feel comfortable standing out the front of this house talking for too long. So he had a lot of elaborate plans and lies that he made up for his alibis and where he was and stuff. But anyway, that's the house, College Street, North Ryde, where the Gonzales family were murdered by their son. So we'll just go back to the car and then we'll head back to the cemetery. So he made up plans. I think he may have even tried to poison his mother. He did try to buy seeds online, poison the seeds. That failed, but I think it was a couple of weeks before the murders happened. They were out and the mother got food poisoning, which police may claim that he did. There was also a lot of other alibis or reasons what could have happened, like hitmen inside the house, at the kitchen, in the kitchen, on the kitchen wall was "fuck off Asians" spray painted on the wall with KKK underneath it. So he tried to set it up as a hate crime. The police were a bit suspicious from the start. Like, if it was a home invasion, what sort of home invaders wouldn't bring their own weapons? Because in the kitchen they discovered 2 kitchen knives were missing. Just things like that, which didn't add up to the police. So Sef was, I think, their number 1 suspect from the start. They just had to prove it. He also said, I won't tell that when I get back to the cemetery. So this is North Ryde, nice, quiet, leafy suburb in North Sydney, or northwestern Sydney. So we'll jump back in the car and we'll just head back on over to the cemetery. Here's some of the crypts that are here. Beautiful looking crypts. So we are in the Catholic section. We're in block 19. I won't give the exact location. If you want to find it, you can search it up yourself. But so we're just here to pay our respects to the Gonzales family, tragically lives taken away by their son. So as we walk on up there, he did make up elaborate stories about what happened. It's believed after he had done the crime, he was supposed to meet up with a friend of his in, they were going to go to Planet Hollywood on George Street in the city. He rang his friend. His friend said he had to have a game of basketball, so he couldn't meet him straight away. This is all at around probably 7 p.m. So he had a couple of hours to waste. He told the police that he drove to Kingsgrove. He told the police he drove around Kingsgrove, trying to find a friend's house, another friend that he was going to visit. Couldn't find the house, so he drove back to the family house in North Ryde. He then waited in the driveway where he'd said it was raining. Apparently his auntie who'd been there earlier said that's a lie, it wasn't raining, hadn't rained. So his lies just continued on, and he eventually, the police set up a ruse, tried to entrap him. So he ended up being found guilty in 2004 of the crimes. He is still trying to petition or get released. So it was said in 2021 he wanted to be released for the 20th anniversary. But he's still in Lithgow Correctional Centre. I think it's just over on the other side here, actually. I think I walked up the wrong plot or row. Okay, so here we are. We're at the graves of the Gonzales family. There is Teddy Gonzales, laid to rest 10th of the 7th, 2001, age 46. Dearly beloved husband of Mary, father of Sef and Claudine, a cherished son, brother and friend, an inspiration to us all. And next to him is his wife, Mary Josephine Loiva Gonzales, laid to rest 10th of the 7th, 2001, aged 43. Dearly beloved wife of Teddy, mother of Sef and Claudine, a cherished daughter, sister and friend, her sweet ways will always be part of us. And then next to them is Claudine, always living in our hearts. Claudine Gonzales, laid to rest 10th of the 7th, 2001, aged 18 years. Dearly beloved daughter of Teddy and Mary, sister of Sef, and cheerful friend to many. She'll always be part of our smiles. So this is their resting place. So at their funeral, a lot of people found something a bit bizarre, that Sef got up and sang an R&B song which didn't really fit the mood of the funeral, but they said that he sang it without missing a beat. He hardly ever shed any tears over the murders, and he was also in a R&B band when he was younger called Infinite Vibes, or Definite Vibes, it might have been Definite Vibes. They did have a recording contract apparently, but they played at a few clubs, made a bit of money. And he was always lying. He told police that he was a music producer, a manager of a band, all these sorts of things that he never was. He was just a wannabe, never got to live, his sister never got to live her full life. His parents still had a lot of life to give and live, and he took it all away, all, I think, for money. I think he just wanted to take all the money. He did have arguments with his family about his grades at uni. He falsified reports of his results. His family found out this, and that was just another argument that they had. They didn't like his choice of girlfriends. His mother didn't. That was another thing that would have played on his mind. So his music career that never took off. So there was a lot of reasons that this would have happened. I think the main one is he just wanted the money, because when he got $15,000 compensation money through the victims of crime. Spent none of that on the funeral, spent it all on himself. He pimped up his mother's car, spent all the money that should have gone towards his living and funeral expenses and everything else. But no, he just wanted to spend it all on himself. So this is the story of the Gonzales family. I hope it comes over well. What happened to them in 2001? That was just after the Olympics, so everyone was very on top of the world, happy in Australia around that time year, 2000, 2001. So thanks for joining me on another episode. There they are one more time. Final resting place at a beautiful lawn cemetery, this part of Pine Grove, of Macquarie Park. There's a lot more to this story, but I've given you the main part of it, of what happened. Showed you a couple of the locations, the house and where they're buried. So we'll leave it there. Until next time, thanks for joining me. May everyone that's here rest in peace. May the Gonzales families be in peace. And I'll see you on another episode of Talking Headstones. And for now, it's goodbye and keep safe, everyone.